I'm Chris Thomas, and this is MasterClass.
Yes, show us the move again.
So usually with a big movement.
Arrgh. Yeah. And of course, we know what this is for. There are two opponents, and you're blocking them both.
Exactly.
So there's a couple things. And by the way, I remember when we talked about this, and you had adjusted, your mechanics were better. Yeah. So instead of being, so watch him do this. He's not like this. You'll see his arms are forward. One more time. See how the arms are forward? So here's a rule of thumb. If you have your arms up and you draw a line from elbow to elbow, it should pass in front of your sternum. And then the rule that goes with that is never take that line behind your sternum, ever. So you never, like if I'm doing this kind of a movement, see how my elbows are in front of my sternum? I never go like this, because if I do this, I put my shoulders in a weak position. So you always keep it in here. So if a move is supposed to go to the side, you don't do this, you turn your body. Here, let's start with the first thing. The first thing is that movements like this, if you start in a good position, are surprisingly powerful. So I want you to see a piece of body movement. Now, I'm just going to blast into his chest just a little bit, but I just want you to see how this works. Okay? This is called framing. So we think, every time we think hitting, we go, ugh, and I think, I'm going to hit him with my forearm, so I think to myself, ugh, and I strengthen up. No. If I want to hit, so he's throwing a punch, and I just go, bah! That's all I did, right? The reason it works is because the structure is so powerful, all I need to do is turn. And that's literally it. So that's the first application. Somebody's coming in, they come in with that big punch, it's like, oh, okay, bah! You just, and you will stop everything in its tracks. Slow, can we do it on this side? So I come in here. See it? Boom. Yeah, I'm laying my forearm across his jaw. So is this a pressure point technique? Yeah. Why? Because I'm aiming? No. You okay?
Yeah, no, it's right. It goes through there's so much
There's
force.
a ton of energy there. Yeah. Feet on that side so that I can show over here. Watch. This is my guide. I slide. If I just lay my hand so I'm touching here, my forearm is right on his jaw. Right? Boom. I can hit 2 points at the same time. Right? Boom. Right? So I can get this down here and this up here together. Now that's with this kind of movement. So now I want you to understand where the mechanics are and where the power is going. If you look at the body, and by the way, you've noticed how we have not included the leg technique. I'll show you that later. We'll add that later. As I step this way and turn this way, this side of my body is going this way. Do you see that? See, people do this and they think it's a circle. It's not. There's a straight line right there. So I just follow the straight line. Now that means this hand is actually going this way. So the two sides are not doing this. They're not equal energy, so it's not like that. See? The punch is coming. I'm using this to strip. This is beat stripping the meridian. Here, wah! Come on, get closer. You got to hit me, man. See? I went. Yeah, he's throwing a big old. You step right into it. John Wayne punch. It doesn't have to be that could still be a straight punch when I'm thinking about his head. You see, it just lays right across there. So, see his body position? I want you to see how this works mechanically. My body is turned this way, and I'm going to sink into my stance. See? So this technique is this way. It's usually repeated 3 times. There's also something that you see in some katas where you're here, and then you lift him up and put him on your shoulders, spin him around, and throw him down, right? If I look at the movement and I understand I'm not like this, but like this, see the angle of my body? And then when my hands come up, my body rotates. Boom. So I'm going to do what I call mayonnaise jar. Mayonnaise jar is this turn. I'm using bitong and yu yao to turn the head. It's a really easy head turn. But as soon as I've done that, it's really easy for me to grab the hair. And if it's traditional, there's a top knot.
Yeah.
So otherwise known as the handle. Yeah. All right? So the idea is I come here, so I'm going to do it both sides so you can see. I turn this up, I grab the hair, and now I pull as hard as I can this way. And then my hand's going to slip off, right? It's okay. Because I'm using this to stretch him, and as it stretches, it gives me that neck for this shot. So now if I do that on the other side, no, you can be here. I'll just switch hands. I'm ambidextrous sometimes. I just go, bam! Here, there's the turn. See how it's starting to expose the neck? So obviously, bam, that's a great shot. I grab that hair, that's worse. And then we'll do this off like a reach or a push. I go, whoa.
Oh, no.
I am not trying to catch him. I'm not trying to hold on to his arm. If I wanted to hold on to his arm, that would be a different technique. That would look like this. Here, I go like this, and then I would inject from the bottom. That's called wave hands like clouds in Tai Chi. This is just, this is more like, oh, this is the tense position. I'm up. I get off that line, and I go, whoa. And now what happens? There's screaming and a broken arm, and there's a guy standing like this. I don't want to fight. Yeah, but all I'm doing physically is the kata. Right? I'm just, whoa. In the kata, you step forward. Yes. Nice and slow. So I need to be stepping forward, or it won't work. Obviously, there's a certain amount of timing involved in this one, and this is not intended to put him in a joint lock. It's joint lock as strike. So we know, gallbladder 31, kick gallbladder 31. Hurts, doesn't it? Gallbladder, stomach 36. It's right here. 45 angle in. I'm going to do the step.
No.
Now here's the tricky thing. I'm just going to step, okay? There's no kick here. I pick my leg up, I kind of angle it, and I just step down and through. So I go like this. You okay, Stefan? Yep. Can you stand, Stefan?
Slowly.
See, I knew that was going to happen. I see him getting up like, no problem. Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. It's 36, it's 34, sorry. Here's the thing, in the kata movement, people like treat this kata movement like weird. They go like, or something. Of course, I was taught, you are attacking with punch. Yeah. And I block it. Yeah. New punch, and I block it. Then there was the one where someone's swinging a stick at your head, and you block the stick. It's this angle. See that angle? Yeah. But notice how I'm leaning to, now I keep my balance. See that? So this is really important. People go to kick. Yeah. They think kick, they think hit. Yeah. I'm in balance. No. So I'm going to do gallbladder 31. Can you just stand up a little Thai style? Yeah. I'm going to do a Thai style kick, right? Now I just want you to see this. See how I'm in balance? Now I'm going to do it again out of balance. Can you stand up? Let me show you this principle with front kick, with me giri. So front kick is normally in the Okinawan versions, a lot of times we'll front kick and I'm just standing there. Well, why? Because my opponent is right here. But let's say that I'm in more of a dynamic situation. So what do people tend to do? What people tend to do is they're way back here and then they reach, okay? People who are a little better know not to reach, but to push. But I do this. So I did it as a push, but you notice how that as I touched him, now I'm not going to go through. As I touched him, my center of gravity is in front of my support leg. So then watch what happens. So I actually want you, when I throw that kick, I'm going to throw a kick, and I want you to move out of the way or whatever, like retreat. Yeah. Don't run across the room. But just, like you were fighting, so you'd move back far enough to counter. So here it would be pure Okinawan version. Okay? Here would be frequent fighting style version. I got the score on him. That was great. Point! Didn't do a thing. Here's the other version. Right? Pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
And did you notice how quickly they came on top of each other?
Yeah, there was no.
Can you throw?
I was still debating about moving.
And you were kicked and hit. Yeah. So if you were to think about how you teach your students. Do like kick punch.
Same side or?
I don't care. Just kick punch. Okay. Now maybe kick reverse punch. Do you hear how long that took? So, and I'm not concerned about total length of time, but the distance between the kick and the punch. One more time. You can hear kick, punch. Okay? So here's me. It's because my center of gravity is forward. My center of gravity is in front of my support leg. So I'm actually falling. Yeah. Yeah, so when I do that, I'm falling. I'm falling forward. Boom, boom. So I'm not kicking, recovering balance, and then trying to continue. I'm actually thinking, I'm going to do step punch, yeah. But in the middle, I'm throwing in a kick.
Yeah.
Right?
So yours is an actual step punch.
With a kick in the middle, yeah. And so it's really powerful. You have to have that feeling when you do the movement of the kata. And once there's a leg in the way, I know you're going to be like trying to balance. You just have to think, I go right through it. That's all it is. You relax, you pick your leg up, and then you just go through it. And it'll do that.
You basically just replace his space.
I replace his leg with mine. Yeah, and it works great. I'm Chris Thomas. Thanks for watching. Go train. I particularly apologize for the punch. I was not actually.
No, that was awesome.
Your neck came forward, and it was just like.
I can't help it.
And I hit you with just like this.
I have no
knuckles. I drilled you right in there like it was.
Honestly, that felt like that felt more like a brick.